Babes, it's Thursday evening, and we are glad to be here.
Oh, we are so glad. Like, genuinely holding on by a thread, but we made it.
Literally holding on by a thread. But for all the babes who have been locked into Hope Valley with us this season, we love you, we see you, and babes, we are so excited.
No, we are beyond excited. I mean, because a certain 1874 period drama just served up more betrayal and, like, literal grand larceny than a modern reality show reunion.
Literally, I am still shaking. But first, ceremonies first. The lime Alanis are officially open.
Oh, absolutely. Crack them open.
Cheers to the babes for surviving the week. Like, we did it! You did it!
Cheers, and honestly, cheers to the sheer, unadulterated delusion we are currently operating under today. Because, I am drinking this like it is an elixir of pure manifestation.
Oh my God. Yes, we have to talk about the half-day manifestation spiral right now, because I am spiraling.
It is the only thing keeping me going.
Listen to me. Okay. The past 2 weeks have magically, beautifully blessed both of us with random, unscheduled half-days at our dental offices.
Unprecedented. It has never happened before.
Never. It was like the universe just looked down and said, you know what? These women have looked at enough molars. Let them go.
Right. Like, you are free. Go be chaotic.
Exactly. And now, because human nature is, like, inherently greedy, we're aggressively manifesting another half day for tomorrow.
We have to. And if you really analytically break down the sheer psychological power of leaving work at noon, it is, I mean, it alters your brain chemistry.
It totally does.
The air outside suddenly feels different. The sun hits your skin, and it feels like, I don't know, a cinematic lighting setup.
Yeah.
You get into your car at 12:15 p.m., and the steering wheel feels like a getaway vehicle.
Yes. Oh my God, leaving work early literally feels like you are successfully pulling off a heist.
It does. It really does.
You're walking to the parking lot, trying not to run, making zero eye contact, just like praying nobody calls your name. It is pure adrenaline.
It's the exact same frontier liberation that the characters in this show were desperately trying to build, honestly.
Wait, that is such a good transition. You are so right. But wait, before we fully spiral into 1874, we have to do our weekly check-in. It is time for the 5 things we learned this week.
Oh, the messy list. Yes. Let's start with yours, because I know you have something deeply unhinged from, like, your family group chat or something.
I am always unhinged. Okay, my first thing is from my Italian class.
Okay.
I learned that I am overly emotional in multiple languages now.
Shocker.
Stop.
Yeah.
We were learning past tense verbs, right?
Yeah.
And the instructor had us translating these little scenarios. Mine translated to, the cat waited, but the boy never returned.
Oh, no.
I literally had to turn my camera off on Zoom because I started tearing up over a hypothetical Italian cat.
That is deeply concerning, but also, I mean, entirely on brand for you.
Thank you. Okay, what's the first one?
Well, my first thing is a bleak, sarcastic, adulting realization. So I was at the grocery store on Tuesday, right? And I realized that the cost of my weekly groceries, just standard items, chicken, eggs, maybe a little fancy cheese if I'm feeling wealthy, it now costs the exact same as what a down payment on an 1874 ranch would have been.
Wait, literally?
Literally. I am out here spending frontier land grant money on, like, organic spinach that's going to liquefy in my crisper drawer by Sunday.
Oh my God, that is so depressing. Inflation is ruining our frontier dream.
It really is. What is your second thing?
Okay, an update from my chaotic family group chat. So my aunt accidentally added a random contractor named Dave to the family chat instead of my cousin David.
Wait, how long was he in there?
4 days. And Dave has just been reading our deeply personal family drama for 4 days without saying a single word.
Oh my God, Dave knows too much.
Right. But then today, my aunt was spiraling about her rhododendrons dying, and Dave just texts back, "Soil's probably too alkaline, ma'am. Add sulfur."
I love Dave.
We stand Dave. He is invited to Thanksgiving.
Honestly, Dave has pure frontier stoicism. He waited for the exact moment his practical expertise was required, ignored all the emotional noise, and just delivered. He would survive in Hope Valley.
Totally. Okay, your second one.
Second thing, a petty observation. People who don't push their shopping carts back into the little corral, they're the exact same people who would have sold out their neighbors to the vigilantes in the Wild West.
Oh, absolutely. Without hesitation.
It just demonstrates a fundamental lack of adherence to the unwritten social contract.
They would have stolen the gold.
Right.
Okay, my third thing is that I learned you can overfroth oat milk. I essentially created oat concrete in my kitchen yesterday.
Good to know. My third thing is that I learned waterproof mascara is actually just water resistant when faced with a true emotional breakdown over a TV show.
Relatable. My fourth thing is I have officially forgotten how to write in cursive, which makes me feel like a fake historical fiction fan.
Same. My fourth thing is I realized I have zero patience for anyone who claims they don't watch TV as a badge of honor. Like, you just have unexamined superiority issues.
Preach. And my fifth thing is that you, our listener, are literally the smartest person on the internet because you have sent us the best theories this week.
And my fifth thing is that my aggressively petty manifestation for this half day tomorrow is the only thing keeping me tethered to reality as we wait for the next season.
Yes. Which brings us perfectly to our messy weekend horoscopes.
Oh boy. Am I ready for this?
You better brace for impact. Because I have been consulting the stars, and by the stars I mean my own chaotic intuition based on your recent behavior.
Hit me.
Okay, your weekend horoscope. The cosmos are predicting that by Saturday afternoon, you will find yourself in a minor, completely unnecessary text message spiral.
I feel attacked already.
You will send a risky text, receive a vague thumbs-up tap back, and spend 4 hours psychoanalyzing it. And to cope, you will accidentally go on an online shopping spree and purchase no fewer than 2 historically accurate corsets that you will absolutely never wear outside of your apartment.
The accuracy is genuinely offensive. I mean, the thumbs-up tapback is an act of digital violence, and we all know it.
It is.
It's the modern equivalent of a telegram that just says ECOP.
Okay, well, here is your messy horoscope.
Okay, tell me.
This weekend, the planets are aligning to guarantee you have an absolute emotional breakdown over a historical romance novel.
Obviously.
You will reach chapter 24. Someone's bare hand will lightly brush against someone else's kid leather glove.
Oh my God, the glove brush.
And you will consume a dangerous, borderline lethal amount of iced coffee while weeping on your couch and completely ignoring your real-world responsibilities.
How dare you know me so well. The glove brush gets me every single time. It is the peak of romance, the yearning.
It is entirely predictable. Well, speaking of the peak of romance and predictability, your ultimate weekend horoscope actually already came true. We have to talk about the renewal.
Yes, we do, because it is officially out there. Hope Valley, 1874, has been renewed for season 2.
I am freaking out. I am having a full emotional freak out because, okay, let's be real for a second. When they first announced this prequel, I had no idea what to expect. Like, you know I love cozy shows, but I was terrified it would just be a hollow rehash. I thought it might just be the same tropes in older costume.
Right, like a copy-paste job.
Exactly. But it ended up being this incredible, life-consuming obsession, the historical vibe, the complex moral dilemmas, the outfits.
But wait, we have to talk about the catch, the agonizing catch.
Yeah, the catch. Analytically, the news is both thrilling and deeply structurally cruel.
So cool.
Because it was the most successful launch on the platform, viewers turned out in unprecedented numbers.
Yeah.
But because of the massive production timeline for historical sets, we have to wait until 2027.
2027.
2027. I am going to age 3 years waiting to find out what happens to Rebecca. How can they do this to us? How can they leave us on that cliffhanger and just say, cool, see you in a few years. It is sick.
Okay, I have to push back on this outrage for a second.
Push back. I am rioting.
Did you actually logically think we'd get a season 2 immediately? Or were you fully prepared to riot either way? Because honestly, an 8-episode first season ending on a massive cliffhanger is the oldest trick in the book.
I mean,
you leave the protagonist in mortal or legal peril to ensure the audience demands a continuation. It forces the network's hand.
Okay, fine. Yes, I was absolutely prepared to riot either way. I had my pitchfork ready. But a year. I'm going to need to start a support group for us because we have to talk about this finale. We are doing a massive recap of episode 8, All That Glitter.
We have to. There's so much to unpack. I mean, we have over 35 minutes of pure narrative density to get through.
Let's start with the romance in the ring because the setup is just so cozy but fraught.
Yeah.
Rebecca and Tom are prepping for the grand opening of the boarding house, and the energy between them has completely shifted since the kidnapping in episode 7. Like, being held captive by an injured fugitive really bonds people, apparently.
It accelerates the timeline, absolutely. Shared trauma is the fastest route to force proximity in a narrative. But let's look at the actual crime that shatters this whole domestic piece.
Yes, the theft.
The boarding house is finally open, people are milling about, and suddenly, Rebecca's priceless ring, the absolute last gift she ever received from her late husband Jim, is stolen right out of her private room.
I gasped. I literally physically gasped when she looked in that drawer.
It was a violation.
Such a violation. Having all those strange prospectors in her house, and then to have the one tangible thing connecting her to Jim taken. But what killed me was Rebecca's reaction. She doesn't just sit and cry. She goes full frontier detective.
She really does.
She was fully ready to investigate the creepy Mr. Maxwell without a lookout. I was screaming at my TV, "Rebecca, do not go in there alone." I had so much anxiety.
And your anxiety was warranted. She was prepared to charge blindly into his room, which is huge character growth for her. She's fiercely protective of her domain, but it's also incredibly reckless.
So reckless.
But you have to remember, her house is her livelihood. If her boarders think they can be robbed, she loses her business, so she lets Tom accompany her. Which brings us to the woods.
Oh my God, the woods. The cinematic tree ducking scene. I am spiraling just thinking about it.
Woff, explain it.
Okay, they're walking in the woods, being all stealthy, looking for clues near the prospectors' camp. A branch snaps, and they both duck behind this massive tree trunk to hide.
Classic trope.
Classic. And they are so close. Their faces are right there. The lighting was gorgeous. And Tom's just looking at her, completely smitten. He has this goofy smile, and he says, "You warm up the room all on your own."
It was aggressively obvious. The man is essentially flashing neon signs that say, "I am in love with you."
Yes.
And yet Rebecca remained completely, almost pathologically oblivious.
Hey, I have to defend Rebecca here. She is a widow trying to build a business. Her dead husband's ring was just stolen. She has a lot on her mind.
She does, but...
She doesn't have the emotional bandwidth to process Tom's heart eyes. But that line, sir, that is straight up flirting. And Benjamin Ayres delivered it so perfectly.
They definitely have chemistry. But let's talk about the actual twist of the theft. Because we all suspected Mr. Maxwell. It made logical sense.
Totally.
But the thief was actually Jeremiah.
I did not see that coming at all. Jeremiah. He was a friend.
It's a classic misdirection, but it works brilliantly because of the motive. He wasn't stealing out of malice. He stole the ring, pawned it at Jameson, and wired the money to save his wife's in-laws' farm back east.
And he even kept a meticulous spreadsheet of everything he stole, like a little frontier notebook. I took 3 ounces of gold from Pete. I will pay him back. A little ethical thief.
It adds this incredible layer of complex morality, but the way Tom handles it...
I lost my mind. Let's talk about the grand gesture. Because Tom was planning to buy more land, right? He was actively negotiating with Leroy Tidwell to buy his adjacent property to expand the ranch.
Right. It was his path to securing his future in a highly volatile frontier market.
And what does he do? He sacrifices his entire ranch expansion. He takes the cash he was going to give Leroy, and he rides to Jameson to buy Rebecca's ring back.
Yep.
And he does it secretly. He tells Alexander, the Mountie, to give it to her so she doesn't feel guilty. He just wants her to have her peace of mind back. Is Tom the ultimate green flag or what?
Here is where I have to push back.
What? How can you push back on that?
Is he the ultimate green flag, or is it slightly unhinged to buy a priceless heirloom instead of securing your financial future in the Wild West? From a business perspective, it is a terrible move.
You are so cynical.
I am analytical. Land is power in 1874, and there are messy consequences. Because Tom doesn't buy the land, Doyle swoops in and buys it instead.
Ugh, Doyle. I love to hate Doyle. He is so shady. He just walks up to Tom and drops that smug, "Hi, neighbor." It's so good.
It sets up a massive turf war for season 2. Doyle chose power, Tom chose love. It's romantic but dangerous. However, it does lead to the dance scene.
The dance scene.
Yeah.
It is subjectively the most beautiful moment of television this year. Rebecca finds out Tom bought the ring. She puts 2 and 2 together. And at the party, she asks him to dance.
She initiated it.
Yes. She tells him she doesn't want to hold on to the ring forever, but she just needs a little while longer. And he understands. And then she rests her head on his chest.
Yeah.
And he rests his head on hers. And they close their eyes. I am currently unwell thinking about it. The yearning.
It was a very well-executed payoff. But while they are swaying in their romantic bubble, we need to talk about Mr. Maxwell. Because what was he actually doing?
Yes. The Cole plot line. Okay, when she finally confronted him in his room earlier, yelling, "My house," was terrified but so proud.
That "my house" moment was brilliant. But the writing here, he opens his case and shows her his minerals. He wasn't stealing gold. He was mapping empty holes in the ground because he was looking for coal.
When he said coal, I literally cheered.
Yeah.
Because we know from the future lore that it becomes a coal town.
Exactly. And historically, this shifts the entire dynamic of the settlement. Gold is transient. Prospectors pan the surface and leave. But coal requires deep shaft mining, massive capital investment, a permanent workforce.
It means industry.
It means corporate monopolies are coming. Mr. Maxwell is the harbinger of industrialization for Hope Valley.
That is so deep. Gold is individual freedom. Coal is the corporate machine.
Wow.
And while the town's future is shifting, Olivia's romantic future is literally a battlefield. The love triangle waltz.
A masterclass in contrasting masculine reactions. Olivia gets accepted into the Ontario School of Art. Her dream.
Yes. So she tells Alexander, the Mountie. And what does he do? He tells her to go.
Which is the analytically and morally correct response. He came to the frontier to follow his dreams. It would be hypocritical to tell her not to follow hers. In 1874, for a man to support a woman's career like that, incredibly progressive.
Okay, yes, it's progressive, but it is not romantic. She wanted him to beg her to stay. You could see it on her face. And then enter Clayton, the blacksmith, my absolute king.
Yes. The selfish but highly effective approach.
Not selfish, passionate. He cuts in. And by the way, the behind-the-scenes tea from Jedediah Goodacre, who plays Clayton, he totally lied to his co-stars. He pretended he didn't know how to waltz to get out of rehearsal, but then showed up on set and was the only one who knew how to do it perfectly.
That is deeply petty and hilarious. Hustle bamboozling your co-stars for a psychological advantage.
He did. So Clayton cuts in, and he gives her the exact speech she wanted. He begs her to stay. He tells her she's the heart of the community. I am fully Team Clayton. The friends to lovers yearning is superior.
Okay, but analytically, Clayton's speech is top-tier manipulation disguised as romance. He's weaponizing her sense of community duty against her personal ambition. Alexander is actually putting her needs above his own.
Okay, fair point. But Clayton laid his heart on the line. Alexander kept mum. But frankly, the triangle gets completely overshadowed by the ending, the most shocking cliffhanger of the year.
The ending. Let's set the stage.
The party is vibing. Nash is playing the violin. Rachel is, of course, still holding baby Ned.
That baby is never put down. Aggressive lack of a crib.
Never. But everyone is happy, and then the doors burst open. Constable Von Alexander and Nick stride in.
The music stops.
And they arrest Rebecca for grand larceny in her gorgeous party dress.
The visual contrast is brutal. A formal warrant arrives from back east, and Alexander, as the law, has to execute it. He has zero jurisdictional leeway.
I was crying. Sarah starts screaming. Hattie is holding her back. Rebecca begs Tom to protect her daughter. Sarah's actress was phenomenal. But Alexander, he is part of the arresting force.
Yep. He physically detains her.
How do you bounce back from arresting your crush's surrogate mother at a party? Olivia views Rebecca as family. Any chance he had with Olivia just evaporated.
It is a devastating blow. It illustrates the conflict between rigid Eastern law and messy Western loyalty. Which brings us to our post-recap predictions. What happens in Season 2?
Who framed our girl Rebecca? Because we know she didn't do it.
The dominant fan theory is that Rebecca's estranged in-laws fabricated the charge to get her incarcerated, rendering her an unfit mother so they can gain legal custody of Sarah.
I violently reject the idea of those in-laws taking Sarah. I refuse. I predict that Tom, Hattie, and the McCabe's are going to form an 1874 Avengers-style squad to protect her. They will hide her in the woods.
I agree the community will rally, but I also predict Olivia will completely abandon art school. She cannot leave Sarah now.
She is totally trapped in Hope Valley, which is going to intensify the triangle. She'll resent Alexander and lean on Clayton. Clayton is winning by default.
Circumstantial advantage, yes. And broadly, the coal discovery will attract corporate investors. I speculate a massive turf war. Doyle and Tom pitted against each other over land rights versus corporate buyouts.
It is going to be so messy. Okay, we have to move into our segment. Segment 1, most Hope Valley behavior. Who embodied the vibe of the town this episode?
Who is your nominee?
Jeremiah. Because only in Hope Valley does someone steal an heirloom, pawn it, keep a literal notebook of who they robbed, and then get rewarded with a steady job on a ranch. He got a promotion through crime.
I will sarcastically argue that this is the most unhinged behavior ever recorded. The restorative justice in this town is staggering. You steal, you cause a panic, and your punishment is a picturesque job.
The frontier is wild. Segment 2. Who would fail in 2026? Which characters would disintegrate in modern society?
Let's start with Tom Moore.
Tom would have a mental breakdown over dating apps. Can you imagine Tom on Bumble? He would write deeply earnest paragraphs, get unmatched instantly because he didn't use an emoji, and the ghosting culture would destroy his soul. He'd throw his phone in a river.
Completely accurate. Now, Alexander Vaughn. He would end up in a screaming match with a self-checkout machine at Target. It would say, unexpected item in the bagging area, and he would demand to speak to the manager to formally clear his name of any fraudulent accusations.
He would try to arrest the scanner. But what about Rebecca?
We both agree Rebecca would thrive.
She would be a terrifying Airbnb superhost, aggressively leaving bad reviews for guests who snoop, leaving laminated notes on the thermostat. She would make a fortune.
She's structurally built for it. All right, segment 3, main character energy rankings.
Number 1 goes to Rebecca, screaming, "My house!" at a giant man and getting publicly arrested in a gorgeous party dress. That is main character energy.
Flawless ranking. Number 2 goes to Hattie. She is secretly the town's intelligence agency. She knows everyone's business before they do. Knowledge is power.
Who is at the absolute bottom.
Dramatically placing Doyle at the bottom. His shady, high neighbor energy is giving petty capitalism. I don't trust a man who smiles that much during a hostile real estate transaction.
Yes. Okay, final segment. Soft Girl Era Awards.
Who takes softest energy?
Clayton. Practicing his waltz alone in a shed with Peggy just so he wouldn't embarrass himself. He swallowed his pride. Deeply soft.
Noted. Biggest emotional spiral unequivocally goes to Sarah for that heartbreaking final scene. Visceral panic.
It shattered me. Most delusional.
Mr. Maxwell. The absolute hubris to think he could secretly map a town's coal reserves while living in a boarding house run by the nosiest people on Earth. Pure delusion.
The nosiest people on Earth. And finally, most likely to become a lifestyle influencer goes to Olivia. She would 100% have a TikTok about frontier baking and rejecting men with millions of followers.
Sponsored by artisanal flour within a week.
Easily. Oh my gosh, babes, this finale. It gave us everything. I am so emotional that we have to wait for season 2, but I am so thankful to you, our listener, for spending this entire season trapped in 1874 with us.
It has been an incredible journey, and we need to hear from you. Drop your season 2 predictions in the comments. We want your favorite finale moment, and please confirm if you are manifesting half days at work.
Yes. Send us your messy stories. Like, comment, subscribe.
Until next time, remember to question everything, especially a man who buys your jewelry back instead of investing in strategic real estate.
Stay hopeful.
Stay messy.
And we will see you on the Snark side.